The following video is by the Dark Conservatarian. If you like it, be sure to subscribe to his channel, link in the description. And a reminder that every patron who donates at the Super VIP Club level or higher is entitled to have one video mirrored on my channel per month, no questions asked. So if you're interested, head over to my Subscribestar, Bitbacker, or Patreon pages. Without further ado, here's the Dark Conservatarian.
Today we're talking about Lily Singh Again, aka Superwoman, here on YouTube. Last time we talked about her was last summer, when she made a wildly offensive anti-American video.
I don't think you realize how much of a bitch you sound like, Mr. Bullshit, when you use the word offensive to define why you dislike and are responding to a certain video.
Last time we talked about her was last summer, when she made a wildly offensive anti-American video.
Your sign is fucking offensive!
She made a wildly offensive
Fucking offensive!
anti-American video.
Yeah, I never saw the video as being anti-American so much more as it was anti-conservative and anti-right-winger, I thought it was.
That's an alternative fact, but you're probably used to those from watching so much Fox News.
This is probably the most obvious sign that she is implying her message to be for all right-wingers, is by bringing up one of the biggest stereotypes that some people on the left like to bring up, is that all right-wingers love viewing Fox News and just loyally, well, view Fox News.
In which she goes out of her way to support Muslims any way she can.
To me, that seems to be a stretch of what she was trying to do, as she wasn't outright defending Muslims, but trying to attack the stereotype that she perceives right-wingers to have on Muslims, is that all Muslims are terrorists, when clearly not all right-wingers think that literally all Muslims are terrorists.
If every Muslim was a terrorist, you wouldn't stand a goddamn chance.
That's me reviewing her last year.
No thanks, I like my own response video to her better.
When you land and are going through customs and they ask for your occupation, make sure you say trash can.
And when you land back in Canada and you go through customs and they ask for your occupation, make sure you say doorknob, because that is how dumb you are, stupid woman.
The original video she made was called A Geography Class for Racist People, and ironically enough, Lily came off pretty goddamn anti-white and racist in it.
You really like to read too much into things, bullshit.
Her message was directed more towards Trump voters, Republicans, and just right-wingers in general more than it was actually towards white people, unless she actually thinks that white people, all white people generally, are right-wingers, which I don't even think she's dumb enough to think that.
And now, flash forward 1 year later and she's back at it again. This time it's a video called A Therapy Session for Homophobic People. And believe me, it's just as over the top and condescending as the last one.
I agree, but at the same time, I think she's a little bit less off base with this video than the aforementioned video, as I watched it fully myself.
Let's check this shit out.
Yes, let's. And see of how off base the both of you are.
Wouldn't be a Superwoman video if it didn't start with some dead air and a smug laugh with some overacting too.
Wouldn't be a no bullshit video without a dozen nitpicks in it either.
Shot here is another example of Rice not only trying to show off his big mansion, but he's also unwittingly showing us how trashy and classless he's made his living situation. I mean,
look, he's got this nice pool table by the patio here, but he just leans his pool cues against the fireplace on the left there, not to mention the old McDonald's cup and other trash on top of the fireplace next to it. And the biggest eyesore in this room for me is the random trash can in the corner back there on the right. Look, it looks like they needed trash.
But imagine being so salty that you use the internet to target people and spread hate.
You mean like you last year with your video generalizing right-wing people as a bunch of racists?
Take this chick for example. I'm sick and tired of this gross gay people, like stop.
And now we've got Lily replying to a fake, made-up comment again.
You have no evidence for that, Mr. Bullshit. And what I said last year about the last commenter, I said that they were suspected of being a fake commenter, being a fake YouTube channel just so that Superwoman can make a video to get a rise out of people. But assuming that that commenter was for real and this commenter as well is a bit irrelevant, because even if they were real, I mean, it seems kind of petty and trivial for Superwoman, a person with millions upon millions of subscribers, to be responding to petty little trolls like this.
So, tell me what's on your mind.
Well, what's on my mind is I'm really getting sick of all this anti-white, anti-American shit I've been seeing on YouTube.
Well, for where it exists, Mr. Bullshit, it may be tiresome and infuriating, but it is
damn entertaining to respond to and laugh at.
And on the TV lately. And I got a stinking suspicion you're about to bash on this poor white girl you brought into this video too.
Dumbass, you do realize that that is an actress, right?
Sounds pretty fucked up when you think about it, actually. And do you guys think a white YouTuber would be able to get away with bringing in a black actor to just strawman them, stereotype them, and shame them publicly? Kinda like what Lily's doing to this white girl. Because I don't think that would happen. I think a video bashing a black person, making them a stereotype, would get downvoted and striked into oblivion. Hell, YouTube would probably ban the video maker if they were that anti-black or brown. But doing this to a white girl is totally okay, I guess. And this double standard is messed up.
Holy shit, are you this dense, Mr. Bullshit? You're responding to Superwoman here, not Ghazi Konzo. Like, she is not poking fun at white people, for crying out loud. She is poking fun at anti-gay people. Get it right.
Gay people bother me. Is it because they dress better than you?
Well, I have been told that I look like a metrosexual and that it looks like that I stole my coat from a lesbian.
Because they're destroying the planet.
I literally do not know of a single anti-gay person that literally says that homosexuals are destroying the planet, so this was a misrepresentation right here.
Uh-huh, interesting. I thought that was plastic bottles. Silly me.
Oh wait, what was that? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention as I was trying to get a drink of water here.
I thought that was plastic bottles.
Uh-huh. That's funny, I never known that plastic bottles had the cognizance and intelligence to plot out the destruction of the world. This whole time I thought it was war and the evil intent of man. And to just add insult to injury on that point right there.
What makes you say that?
So we kick things off with this stereotype.
Whoa, Mr. Bullshit. You're not going to pause and take for a moment here to realize of how hilarious and meme-worthy of a face that you just paused Superwoman on right now? I mean, imagine all the memes that you could make out of this right now.
So we kick things off with this stereotypical southern white girl, with an accent and everything. She leads off with saying, gay people bother me. Not the most PC thing in the world to say for sure, but it's also really not that bad either. People bother people all the time. Sometimes there's a lot of slow Mexicans crowding my grocery store. So saying Mexicans bother me when I went last Sunday isn't actually that super racist or offensive.
Or, piece of advice, Mr. Bullshit, you could just say, slow grocery shoppers bother me. Because I don't know about your experience, but I do not come across just Mexicans who are slow grocery shoppers.
And now she's supposedly going after homophobic people, and, well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Islam is the most homophobic religion of all time. Muslims still throw gays off of buildings in the Middle East, so really, if Lily should be going after anyone for being homophobic, it should be them.
I agree with that. Either Lily Singh is one of the most uninformed or one of the most spineless YouTube figures. But at the same time, how much can you really expect from just a YouTube comedy figure like Lily is?
But instead, she chooses to be a typical liberal SJW Canadian who defends Muslims and attacks white Americans.
And you dropped the ball.
Look, it was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Oh, I see what you did there, Dr. Seuss. Very nice. Adam, Eve, Steve, very nice.
Here's the thing though, I fail to see the relevance because it's also Ellen and Portia, not Ellen and Michael.
You could have come up with a better response to that than just that, Lily. I mean, I get the Southern Baptists' point of how that straight sex is the most natural, most normal type of sex that a person could have, but just because something has a certain nature to it, that would be an appeal to nature fallacy, and that does not mean that we should legislatively prevent people, two consenting people, from having any other types of sex that are outside of the norm, like in this instance, homosexual sex.
Oh,
but that didn't rhyme. Is that okay? Do you still get it?
I don't really get it if we're being honest, but I don't ever really get your stupid, childish, Nickelodeon acting and sense of humor. Not at all.
Okay, everybody, I know that Mr. Bullshit is like one of the biggest dumbasses to ever enter the internet, but kudos to him because he found a good way to sum up Lily Singh's cringy-ass acting. Nickelodeon type acting. Either it's Nickelodeon acting or it's the same type of acting that all these latest Disney sitcoms quote unquote, have as well.
I think she's saying Ellen and Portia, referencing Ellen DeGeneres and her wife. I think, maybe. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I'm probably looking way too far into this.
Yeah, when it comes to politics and argumentation, Lily really is not the sharpest knife in the kitchenware drawer. But then again, neither are you, Mr. Bullshit.
Superwoman videos are meant for children and were never intended to be broken down this far. But I say, if Lily wants to target kids with this offensive
Fucking offensive!
SJW bullcrap, then she deserves to be debunked and embarrassed publicly for it.
Take a look in the mirror, Brooks. By the way, I guess I gotta take the time here to say that I do not have a horse in this race right here. I don't like Mr. Bullshit nor Stupid Woman. I think they are both being dumb and off base on this subject. I'm just espousing my own beliefs on homosexuality as I am being caught between a dolt and a hardhead. You take your pick on which one you think is which.
Look, they're going against God.
Not necessarily, at least not intentionally anyways, and I'm leaning more towards the possibility that homosexuality actually isn't a sin according to the Bible. Here, watch this video to know more about that.
Really? And how does it feel to get updates from God?
You know, speaking of religion and social media, I'm instantly reminded of this meme right here.
Yeah, does God text you or is God more of a DM person?
Dumbass, you know what the fuck she was talking about. She is not saying that she literally gets texts or whatever from God. She is saying that according to her own interpretation of the Bible and God's command that they are going against God. Which, by the way, I disagree with that, but still, surely you can come up with a better response than just that, Lily.
I just know what God intended.
Honestly, I think that's kind of an accurate representation of how arrogant some certain Christians can be about their own interpretation of the Bible. And just on that note, people who say that sort of thing, you do not know for certain of what God intends, honestly.
And when your friend God texts you a meme, are you all like, oh my God?
Here's where we get into Christian bashing territory. Sure, Lily is making jokes and they might even make me chuckle a bit, but coming from her, this is highly hypocritical.
How is it hypocritical? I mean, last I checked, she isn't a Muslim herself. In fact, didn't she say that she was a Christian? I mean, somebody correct me down in the comment section if I'm actually wrong in that. But if she herself is not a Muslim, nor if she was a Christian, assuming that she is an atheist, well then she can criticize all sides that she wants. I don't see the hypocrisy here. I mean, it may be inconsistent that she does not criticize Muslims as well for their alleged homophobia, but still.
I mean, why isn't she bashing Muslims at all? Christians just disagree with gays. Muslims are the ones being violent towards them. Sure, that's not happening much in America, thank God, but Lily is the type of Muslim defender who would want more Muslims here to make it more like that.
When or where did she ever say that? I don't recall her ever saying that, much less in this video right here, so unless you can actually provide a clip of her stating that kind of belief, this is an outright straw man right here. Sorry, Mr. Bullshit, but not sorry.
It's a sin.
Ooh, or when you say, God damn it, does God ever reply like, I can't, I'm busy? Wow, you're so religiously woke.
How the ever-living fuck is that supposed to be a sufficient response to somebody who states that homosexuality is a sin?
I mean, for crying out loud, that seems like more like snarky trolling than actual argumentation.
Marriage has always been between a man and a woman.
And voting used to only be between a white man and the government. Things changed.
That's probably like the only sufficient arguing response that I have heard from Superwoman in this entire video. And I actually agree with her on this sentiment. Appeal to tradition is fallacious.
Whoa, straight up calling out white men in this.
I don't think I will ever understand how your dumb head works, Mr. Bullshit. She is not criticizing white men for being white men, for crying out loud.
I don't really remember when voting was only for white men though. Not in our lifetime. I do know the 15th Amendment gave the vote to black people in 1870. But that was over 140 years ago, Lily. Get with it.
You're completely missing the point that she's making, dumb fuck. She was pointing out as to how that just because something was traditionally a certain way in the past doesn't mean that's the way it should be right now. Appeal to tradition fallacy, in other words.
But that's not why marriage was created.
And that's not why the eggplant emoji was created, but if you look at your last text...
That's different.
And now we're back to the stupid argumentation between Stupid Woman and the Christian character that she's trying to make here.
Said one of your eyebrows to the other.
More attacking this poor white girl's appearance.
Okay, your whole this poor white girl talking point is getting straight up fucking annoying right now. I mean, the white actress who was playing this character knew what she was getting into. There is no poor white girl in this circumstance, Mr. Bullshit.
I honestly don't even think homophobia is that big a problem in the present. Not in America. If it is, we're definitely not seeing it. Not in the streets, not on TV, or on the internet very much. I'm not seeing any anti-gay or anti-lesbian videos or posts showing up or popping up in my feeds anywhere. Actually, what we're seeing is quite the opposite. We just got through Pride Month after all, and clearly YouTube has been pro-gay everything.
I honestly think that it is a mix of both, but to be acting practically like it is completely non-existent is just complete and utter dumb fuckery in my opinion.
In my opinion, Lily is attacking a problem that hardly even exists anymore, and she's also feeding fuel to the fire of a real problem that's getting out of control, anti-whiteness.
Now you're just repeating your own talking points to try and shoehorn in your own victim mentality, Mr. Bullshit. Until white people actually get lined up in front of a firing squad, I kinda disagree with that. For right now, it's just words. Words that should not go unchallenged, grant ya, but still.
I'm not going to get so wrapped up into this that I'm defending this fake stereotype Christian girl. I'm not trying to defend her anti-gay positions at all. As I've already said, I disagree with most of her anti-gay views. And also, more importantly, these views are not what most American Christians really have. But what this does show is what Lily thinks of American Christians. She really thinks we're all these dumb, bigoted, redneck assholes, and it really says a lot about her.
There is a point to be made that she might, in fact, be stereotyping Christians as a bunch of homophobes, but she isn't stereotyping white people, much less bashing white people as a bunch of homophobes.
Also, there's about 153 million orphans in the world right now. Might be good to adopt.
Yeah, and side note, I would much rather that more gay people adopted than more abortions happened.
Them, not you. You'd be a horrible parent.
So would you dumbass, snarky, arrogant bitch.
Between this and the anti-white man comments, I'm willing to bet this is some of her inner hatred coming out and manifesting itself. Lily hates whites and thus, she hates America.
Your stupidity is utterly baffling. I do not know how you come to these conclusions, Mr. Bullshit. I have no doubt at all in my mind that she might hate a lot of people that aren't like her, more specifically conservatives, but where the fuck in this entire video do you get the whole anti-white and anti-America rhetoric, for crying out loud?
But your opinion and similar ideas contribute to actual laws being made against gay people.
But as long as you're not wanting to legislate based on those, then they're just that, opinions. Like, for example, I don't think that gender transitioning is for everyone, to be quite honest with you. But at the same time, I'm not for criminalizing gender transitions, even for those who ultimately in the end don't need it.
So if you have an opinion about pineapple on pizza, I don't care.
Yeah, nobody is legislating that pineapple pizza should be banned. So you're basically admitting that a person can have an opinion on something and not necessarily push for legislation on that. Thank you for admitting that, stupid woman.
But it's illegal to be gay in some countries.
It's illegal to be gay in some other countries. I wonder if Mr. Bullshit was keeping this clip in mind when he keeps on insisting that stupid woman is ignoring Muslims' homophobia.
Imagine if the government took away your right to be yourself.
Okay, first of all, those countries where it's illegal to be gay, many of them are Muslim, the same religion you bent over backwards defending last year.
Never mind, I guess he does, but he completely misses it and somehow twists this all the same to be an outright defense of Muslims somehow.
In my opinion, bashing Christians is just as bad as bashing gays.
Yes and no, Mr. Bullshit. I mean, I agree that people should not be bashing gays as much as they should not be bashing Christians. But at the same time, Christians can control whether or not they are a Christian. Gays cannot control whether or not they're gay. The only thing that they can control is whether or not they act on that gayness.
Typical leftist.
Oh no, sweetheart, this isn't a left or right thing. It's more so a right or wrong thing.
Alright, get off your high horse, you arrogant cunt.
Like it or not, Lily, a lot of issues are politicized, and as far as gay marriage goes, that is politicized to the point of where being anti-gay is right-wing and being pro-gay is left-wing. I mean, I consider myself fairly left on this issue in the area that I want to allow it to happen and not be criminalized. No matter how much you say that it's not a left or right thing, but it is actually a right and wrong thing, and clearly imply that you think that you as a leftist are in the right on this, in the end, no matter how many times you say that,
it's just like, your opinion, man.
Are you saying I'm wrong for being homophobic?
No, I don't really like the term homophobic.
shut the fuck up, you ass. You use the word homophobic in the title of your video to describe these type of people, damn it.
It implies that you have some sort of phobia, whereas I think you're just a jerk.
Take a look in the mirror, you bitch.
This isn't the first liberal I've seen who always thinks they are right, and they also think anyone that's not a full-blown communist is literally Hitler, and they deserve to die. No, really, leftists like Lily already think we should be strawman stereotype and bullied down. Hanging us in the streets is only the next logical step.
I find it highly ironic when you say that she's strawmanning people, when that is exactly what you just did right there in that statement of hers. Where is the evidence that that is her position? I mean, I know that I am being harsh on Lily here as well as Mr. Bullshit, but I'm trying to be fair in my criticism to both these idiots.
You feel entitled to such an extent that you think you can dictate people's lives. You and everyone else that's gonna leave a hate comment underneath this video.
But then again, so is Lily Singh strawmanning people. Like, I haven't left a comment underneath her video, and I am damn sure that there are lots of people out there that want to dictate people's lives, but I, along with a lot of other people that criticize you, do not look to dictate people's lives with putting forth legislation to ban people from being gay or having gay marriage.
It sounds complicated. Should we, maybe discuss it over dinner?
I don't get it, but hey, Lily's sense of humor is meant for stupid children.
You don't get it? What do you mean you don't get it? Are you really that sheltered, bullshit? The joke here is supposed to be the people that obsess on homosexuality and bash homosexuals for it are what people suspect to be probably closeted gays themselves. But that's about it with this video, and thank God it is done. Like, it was painful from both of these two morons. No bullshit after that clip just goes on and on, stretching and maybe even outright strawmanning stupid woman's opinions and beliefs and statements and whatnot. But I really could not just be bothered with responding to it because it's the same old drivel that I responded to earlier in this video. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up button below. If you have some criticisms to me or think there are some areas where I can improve, comment them down below. And if you want to see more
Dark, edgy content like this,
response videos, news shows, hangout streams, well then hit that subscribe button, because I'm your man. Hope to see you all in the next video. See you all later, and God bless.